Hey guys, so it just turned midnight and it's now the 30th of July 2018, which means that the BOOKTUBEATHON has just started. Now, usually I'm such an old lady about going to bed early, but because I've been so excited about the readathon, I made sure to stay up, particularly because I'm planning on meeting all of the challenges for the BOOKTUBEATHon, including reading 7 books in 7 days, and so I'm wanting to get a head start on my reading and start straight away. So one of the challenges as well was to let a coin toss decide your first read, and so as you can see in my TBR video, the book that the coin picked for me was Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. So I'm going to get started on that book now, and I'm sure I'm going to end up falling asleep pretty soon because I am quite tired, but I'm going to try and get at least a bit of reading done tonight before I go to bed. So it's about 1:30 in the morning and I've managed to make it through 100 pages of Eleanor and Park, and so far I'm really loving the book. I'm also pretty impressed that I've actually managed to stay up this late because, as I said, I usually go to bed relatively early, and normally when I try and read late at night I just end up falling asleep super fast and it just sends me straight to sleep. But because I'm loving this book so much, I'm finding it quite easy to stay awake. I could probably read quite a bit more actually, but because I have to be up early to take my rabbits to the vets, I'm probably going to leave it there for the evening. But some of my thoughts on the book so far is that I'm really loving the fact that it's the kind of book where the perspective changes each chapter. So one chapter is from Eleanor's perspective and then the next one is from Park's, which for me is just making the book fly by so much faster, so it really doesn't feel like I've read 100 pages. So I'm really excited to read some more in the morning. Although in terms of the perspectives changing, I'm definitely finding Eleanor's a lot more interesting. Her sort of family dynamic and history is a lot more intriguing to me, but Park's is definitely interesting as well, and I'm really looking forward to reading some more and seeing how the book unfolds and finding out a bit more about both of the characters as well. So I'm going to leave it there for the evening and pick up the book again tomorrow morning. Good morning guys, so it's about 6:30 in the morning and I've just woken up, and I'm actually pretty surprised I've woken up so early because I only had about 5 hours sleep, but for now I'm actually feeling pretty awake, so I'm going to read a little bit more of Eleanor and Park before having some breakfast, and who knows, the tiredness might hit me later, but for now I'm feeling fine, so I'm going to read as much as I can. So it's been a little while since I did any reading. I managed to get another 50 pages of Eleanor and Park done this morning before I had to take the rabbits to the vets, and then we decided to take Ruby the dog out for a walk, but we managed to get caught in the rain, so that's why my hair's looking a little bit curly and crazy. But now that we're back, and seeing as it's raining outside, we're going to probably stay in for a little while, and it seems like the perfect time to make a cup of tea and get on with a little bit more reading. I'm hoping to finish up with Eleanor and Park this afternoon. It's about 11:30 now, so I've got a good few hours to get some reading done, and because I'm enjoying it so much, I'm finding it's the kind of book that I just don't want to put down. I'm thinking it shouldn't be too difficult to hopefully get it finished up this afternoon. I've got about 150 pages left, so I'm going to try and blast through that and finish up. So I'm taking a little bit of a break from reading to film today's video challenge, which was set by Hayley from Hayley in Bookland. So she's challenged us to recreate a book cover in a giant version using sort of like household objects, kind of like an Art Attack style thing, which I thought was quite cool because, like her, I used to watch it when I was younger. So the book I'm going to be trying to recreate is Eleanor and Park, because it's the book I'm reading at the moment, and I thought it would be a fun cover to try and recreate. So for my attempt at the Eleanor and Park cover design, I've kind of just used a towel as the green background and then some old clothes for the hair and shirts, and then I've used mine and Jay's headphones to kind of make a really messy and sign in the middle. It definitely looked a lot better in my head than it turned out in real life, but I'm not too unhappy with it. So I also had just a couple of seconds left to spare at the end from the 5-minute time, and that's my attempt at the Eleanor and Park cover design. So I just got back from a quick session at the gym because even though I'm feeling pretty tired and lazy today, I figured if I'm going to be spending a whole lot of time sat down and reading this week, it can't hurt to get in a few gym sessions as well. So we just squeezed in a quick leg session. Now that I'm back, I'm just going to jump in the shower, and then I'm going to be hopping on Twitter to take part in the next set of Twitter sprints on the BOOKTUBEATHON Twitter. And I'm hoping during the Twitter sprints I'll be able to finish up with Eleanor and Park. So it's about 5:30 in the evening, and I've just finished up with my first read for the BOOKTUBEATHON, which was Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell, which for me was absolutely a 5-star read. I absolutely loved it. I don't even know where to begin with my thoughts on it, but it was the first book in ages that I've managed to read in one day. I used to read a book a day all the time, but recently I've just been taking a little bit longer to read, so it was really nice to get back to a sort of quick speed of reading and just blasting through a book in less than a day. And from the second that I picked it up, I just thought it was amazing. I didn't want to put it down, and I just couldn't recommend it highly enough. I think probably the reason that it's such a great book is that it blends so many different topics together. So on the surface it's quite like an awkward but relatable sort of first teen romance story, but there's also so many more harder hitting topics in there as well, such as domestic violence and emotional abuse, cultural identities, body image issues and body shaming within sort of a high school setting, and all of those topics are sort of blended into making the romance, I guess, a lot more difficult and not necessarily the sort of happy, easy, insta-lovey romance that you might get in a lot of YA books. And although it's definitely not a super happy read or necessarily super hopeful, it was really really interesting and relatable, and I would definitely love to read more about Eleanor and Park. It was a sort of really compelling story. I think definitely aided by, as I said earlier, the fact that the chapters alternate perspectives. So one is from Eleanor's perspective and then the next one is Park's. For me, that really helped to keep the intrigue going, because I think you can relate to each of the characters more and wanting to find out more about the other one, sort of from their partner's perspective. I thought that really helped to keep the intrigue about the characters going and make the book fly by. So as I said, I really couldn't recommend this book highly enough. It was the perfect one for my first BookTubeathon read, and I'm definitely going to be picking up some more Rainbow Rowell now because I absolutely loved this book. It was amazing. So now that I've finished my first read, the next book that I'm going to be picking up is The Talented Mr. Ripley by Patricia Highsmith, and this is the book that I'm doing for the Read a Book to Movie adaptation. So I'm really excited for Ripley actually, because I've already seen the film version of it quite a while ago and absolutely loved that, and the book is also my boyfriend Jay's. It's one of his favourite books and he actually just finished rereading it today. So we're both really excited for me to read it, and then we can rewatch the film at some point this week as well. So I'm going to get started on that this evening. It's about 9 PM and I've just spent the last hour reading the first 50 pages of The Talented Mr. Ripley, which so far is looking like it's going to be a really interesting read. Ripley is like a classic crime thriller, and I've never read a classic crime book before, so I'm really excited for that. And although I've only got 50 pages in, it is looking interesting. Being a thriller, the first few chapters are kind of just setting up the plot, so not too much has happened just yet, but I am really excited to read some more later on. But having only got 5 hours sleep last night, tiredness is starting to catch up to me, so I'm thinking I'm going to leave my reading there for the evening and get an early night and pick up Ripley again tomorrow morning. So to wrap up my reading for the first day of the BookTubeathon, I managed to completely finish one novel, which was Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell, and I absolutely loved that. And then including the pages of Ripley that I just read, I've managed to read a total of 375 pages today, which I'm super happy about, and I'm really excited to get on with some more reading tomorrow morning as well. So let me know in the comments if you're taking part in the BookTubeathon, and if so, which books you've read today and how many pages you got done. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next BookTubeathon vlog.